If you're a webtoon and manga reader, you probably come across some more common stereotypes, like a guy leveling up to be the strongest, or a person fighting to be the strongest in Muren, getting reincarnated into a royal family, and the last, school fights. And in my opinion, school fights aren't really loved in this genre, as they mainly encompass a hierarchy where the weak stay as fathers and the strong are more privileged. This system is also commonly seen in other animes and dramas with various takes. Take Get Schooled for example, where their goal is to fully reconstruct the issue with their own ideals to fix the mind of other students, or Study Group, where the MC wants to go to uni and tries to study with these problems. However, there is probably one that every reader knows or probably came across, and that is Lookism. Before the anime, I only read the webtoon and gave up after 11 chapters, where the main issue I was having is probably something everyone else can relate to, which is the art style. And I didn't understand the hype surrounding it. I later came across another manhwa called Manager Kim and only started reading it after I saw a short split of him with abs and scars all over his body. And after reading it, I found out that it was a part of another series. To be more specific, the MC of Manager Kim is also in Lookism. Then I found a rabbit hole of seeing all the cool looking characters in Lookism, and it was to a point where I was considering reading it again, and coincidentally it got an adaptation. And for those who don't know what it is, here's a synopsis. Lookism is a webtoon written and illustrated by Park Dae-jun, which would later get an anime adaptation by Netflix and Studio Mir. Park Hyun-suk, or Daniel Park, is a high school student who suffers from bullying and other forms of abuse at the hands of thugs in his school, to the point where he wishes to transfer to a different school, hoping for a better start and a change in his new life, only for a misunderstanding that leads him back to his dreadful, horrifying life. On that day, he wakes up to discover that he's now handsome, muscular, and so attractive to the point where he has unspoken riz. But with a catch. When one body goes to sleep, the other one wakes up. And when the other body goes to sleep, the other one wakes up again. And in spite of this revelation, he tries to juggle his life with these two bodies. The general plot of this fighting genre isn't overly convoluted. Instead, it's clear with an intriguing twist that addresses a wider societal problem: how easily people are influenced by appearances and make judgments about others. In the beginning of the first episode, Daniel Park is physically harassed to the point of torture and making him act like a dog. Later on, another guy punches him while the internet calls him a pig. This evinces an obvious discontent with society's fixation on outward appearances. When he comes to school with his new body, the situation is completely different. All the girls adore him and he is not being bullied. The MC comes to the conclusion that his life would have been much simpler if he had ever been attractive in his original body. Although the plot appears to be straightforward, it attempts to depict a world that is considerably darker. At a glance, many people might not like the adaptation it received due to the animation itself looking a lot different than normal mainstream media. Now, if you're like me who grew up watching Western shows, you might realize or feel resemblance, and you're not wrong. Studio Mir, the main production studio, has a portfolio of making American shows like The Boondocks and Legend of Korra, so you can see a clear influence of the past work being inspired for this adaptation. The anime seems a lot more polished with a lot brighter, happier tone than the dark environment surrounding the webtoon itself. But with their experience, they still derived scenes in the webtoon with effects that enhanced the humor and got people more attached to the series. But one thing that underwent a significant alteration was the characters. I'm not sure if the author changed them or the studio made that decision, but if you compare each character, you'll notice that each character has a unique physical trait that was changed, which made them more generic and K-pop-ish. Although it has little to no impact on the plot itself, some fans could find it difficult to see their favorite characters in light of what they have seen in the webtoon. The Korean voice actors personally didn't affect my listening, as I didn't feel much of a difference in when I hear Japanese VAs. Overall, the Studio Mir uses tools effectively and actually accomplishes a majority of what we see on screen using the beloved conventional 2D animation mixed with 3D animation. After finishing the anime, I will return to the series and do my best to read as much as I can till there is a potential second season. Overall, this season had the impression of being a prelude or prologue to the tip of a much larger notion in the Lookism universe. I can't wait to see the duality of these characters and how they converse and how the MC develops as a result of having two bodies at once.